Hour, a U.S. official says at least 4 Americans are among the hundreds killed after Hamas launched an attack on Israel. One of the targets, an Israeli techno music festival full of civilians. The country says it's now at war and vowing harsh retaliation. CBS News correspondent Naomi Ruckham bringing us the latest this morning.
The night sky over Gaza glowed orange as Israel launched more airstrikes overnight. Palestinians ran for cover after an earlier attack. Bulldozers cleared some of the rubble in Gaza. Israeli soldiers converged on the south, where Hamas says it took dozens of hostages. Frustrated family members of the missing are gathering at a center in Tel Aviv.
We don't know what's going on. No one's talking to us. We can't get in contact with anyone.
The U.S. is sending a carrier strike group to the region in support of Israel, which includes the Navy aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford.
The only things we've said to Israel are that we're here, we've got your back. We want to make sure that you have the support that you need.
Some GOP presidential candidates are criticizing the Biden administration's response.
There's a lack of leadership at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke to President Biden and the leaders of Germany, Ukraine, Italy, and Britain, who offered their support.
Now is not a time for equivocation, and I'm unequivocal. Hamas and the people who support Hamas are fully responsible for this appalling act of terror.
The permanent observer of Palestine to the United Nations called for an end to Israeli occupation.
It is time for an immediate end to the violence and the bloodshed.
Israel is already mourning its victims, including an Israeli policeman. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
The death toll on both sides has now topped 1,000. Israel says more than 700 have died, mostly civilians, and more than 2,100 were injured. Meanwhile, a group of 84 tourists from here in the valley say they are trapped in Bethlehem on a tour of the Holy Land as the war broke out. The group is primarily made up of people who attend Holy Cross in West Fargo, Holy Family in Grand Forks, and St. Anthony's in Fargo. The group arrived at the Tel Aviv airport on Tuesday. They are set to fly out of there Thursday to come home, but they received instructions from their tour leader late yesterday that each of them needs to submit a form to the U.S. Embassy. Now, we here at Valley News Live will continue to provide updates from the group as we receive them. Time now for a look at our storm team forecast. Cool, crisp, and even foggy for some folks as we say good morning to Lisa Green. Hi.
Good morning. All words that we use to describe a lot of fall mornings, and we're definitely feeling it this morning. So we have a dense fog advisory that's been issued recently for parts of central North Dakota into parts of our viewing area. That includes Stutzman, Foster County, back over into Wells and Rolette County as well, and then stretching over toward Minot. This is in effect until 11 o'clock this morning. That's where we've got some dense fog, obviously some low visibility reported in some of these spots. The good news is that we've had improvement. Both Candu and Devil's Lake, we've seen our visibility climb above 1, even 2 miles in Candu. We were just even last hour under a mile visibility. Carrington's still there, and it may be worse the farther west you go outside of our viewing area. Elsewhere, our visibility reports coming in at those 10-mile numbers that we like to see because that's the maximum. So most places are doing okay. Our view in Fargo, kind of cool shot here. We've got a few clouds rolling through and just a little sliver of orange there as that sun is getting ready to rise here this morning. Going to be another 30 plus minutes until that happens. And looking at our temperatures, well, it's a little chilly in spots. Bemidji is below freezing. We're at 29 degrees right now. So a frosty freezing start for you in Bemidji. And then Fargo's at 38 degrees. Again, we have not seen freezing yet this season in Fargo. Grand Forks just yesterday got down to 31. Our current temperature 39. And Devil's Lake with those clouds in place and a little bit of fog, we're at 34 degrees right now. So radar satellite map, pretty quiet. Some of those clouds hanging around here in the valley, some of that fog as well a problem, but at least it's not this. We're not seeing the snow just yet. That's affecting places on the northern fringes of the Great Lakes into Canada here this morning. The kids might want the jacket though out at the bus stop. We're talking temperatures 30s to some low 40s to start off today, and even this afternoon we'll get into the 50s, but we'll have that northerly wind. It'll be in the teens, and again a gust or two, maybe up to 20 miles per hour. It's going to make it feel cooler. Sunshine, though, that's going to feel nice. And then tomorrow morning, again, a first alert weather day for that widespread frost and freeze. Fargo may see that 32-degree mark tomorrow morning. And after that, you know, kind of holding steady with temperatures in the 50s for the rest of the week.
Definitely time to start grabbing your jacket each morning, though, huh?
Yeah, it's that time of season now, especially in the morning hours. It's like one of those days where you're turning on the heater in your car in the morning. You might be shutting it off in the afternoon, but you got to be ready for that change.
All right. Thank you for the updates this morning, Lisa. Calling all Minnesotans, the question for you this morning, what should the new state flag look like? A panel now wants your input. This session, lawmakers assemble the commission to come up with a new state seal and flag to fly starting next May. The current flag has been around for more than 6 decades. As Caroline Cummings reports, some Minnesotans already have their own visions for the future flag.
You can see it from any angle and recognize it. It's fresh colors. I think it looks evocative of Minnesota.
What flies outside of Kevin Gallatin's home isn't the official state flag, but he hopes it will be soon.
I'm really excited that we're going to have a new flag, period. I think there's a lot wrong with the old flag.
He's a supporter of the North Star flag, an alternative that's been around for decades. But there hadn't been any movement at the Capitol to change the one we currently have until now. The new state emblems redesign commission will pick the successor, and it's asked Minnesotans to weigh in. 50 designs were submitted within the first 24 hours of accepting new ideas on Monday. Now they have a couple hundred.
I want to see state pride in our flag. I want to see it on merchandise. I want to see it flown at sporting events. I want people to be able to recognize it anywhere in the country.
Minnesotans will have until October 30th to submit their designs for the state seal and/or the state flag. Then the commission will choose the top 5 with more public input to follow.
In the background, the yellow 4-point directional star.
This is St. Paul resident Brandon Hunt's design he submitted for consideration. The star, a nod to the North Star state, against a blue backdrop, the land of 10,000 lakes. He's had it ready to go for a while.
When I share my flag, I think it actually gets more positive feedback than I even would have anticipated even before this became a thing.
Hunt hopes it's his design that makes the final cut, but ultimately he and other flag enthusiasts want a symbol that Minnesotans can be proud of.
I think to have a symbol that best represents the state would be really cool and go a long way.
Caroline Cummings, WCCO News.
Now, the commission must present their choice by January 1st for it to fly by Statehood Day on May 11th. If you want to submit your ideas, you can find more information. Head on over to our website, valleynewslive.com. Happening today, it is Indigenous Peoples Day, and there are many events going on for you to show your support. You can start off the day at the kickoff breakfast at 9 a.m. at the Indigenous Association located at 701 First Avenue North. That breakfast will last until 10:30. There will be speakers as well as the Gladys Award presentation. Then later on today from 11 to noon, you can make your way over to NDSU where singers and staff from the American Indian Public Health Department will be putting on a teepee display. Then later tonight, you don't want to miss this. At 6 p.m., you can make your way to Moorhead High School for the powwow. That will be presented by the Moorhead Indian Education Association and the Fargo-West Fargo Native American Education Association. Meanwhile, post offices in North Dakota and Minnesota closed today in observance of Indigenous Peoples Day and Columbus Day. There will also be no mail delivery, caller service, or post office box service. All of those services will resume tomorrow, Tuesday, October 10th. But you can still use a self-service kiosk today if you need help like buying stamps and whether or not you want to know if a location is available to you. Head on over to the United States Postal Service website. Lawmakers will return to Capitol Hill with a House Speaker vote expected this week. Over the weekend, endorsements rolled in for the 2 Republicans looking to earn the speakership, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan and House Majority Leader Steve Scalise of Louisiana. The post is open after a group of hard-right Republicans and Democrats voted Kevin McCarthy out. Tonight's drawing of the Powerball lottery now expected to be worth $1.5 billion. No winning ticket was sold for Saturday's drawing. The jackpot crossed the billion-dollar mark back on September 30th, marking the first time in Powerball history that back-to-back jackpot cycles have generated billion-dollar prizes. Whoa. And Simone Biles extending her record as the most decorated gymnast in World Championship history. The 26-year-old won 2 more gold medals in Belgium for a total of 5 medals at the competition, 4 of those gold. This comes after a 2-year break to focus on her mental health. Well, the Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up right now with me and Lisa. That'll be available on the Fargo CW. But hey, if you're heading out the door, make sure you take your jacket. It's a cool start to our Monday. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Valley Today. Stay safe and take care, everybody. My name is Ashlyn Hill.